ACEGID is the African Center of Excellence for Genomics of Infectious Diseases. And ACEGID has a mandate to build a critical mass of African scientists that are well trained in genomics and that can use genomic tools toward elimination or eradication of the infectious disease. Then the other mandate for ACEGID is actually to develop genomic curricula, because these are curricula that never existed in the African university landscape, and we've already introduced two, and which were approved by NUC.
When you talk about any particular disease, especially infectious diseases, you want to talk about us solving our own problem.
Our overarching goal is actually to, what we say, create an environment where Africans can come in and then do high quality, valuable, ethical genomic translational research to solve health problems in Africa.
I'm glad today that we have not only proved that great things can happen in Nigeria, we've also been able to prove that Redeemers University, a private university, can go where angels will not dare.
ACEGID has made Africa enter the annals of medicine by successfully diagnosing the first case of Ebola in Nigeria and then guiding the Nigerian government through the process of containment of that outbreak.
It was here in ACEGID that the infection was confirmed in Nigeria. And it played a prominent part in curtailing that outbreak, what could have been disastrous for the entire nation.
The Lassa fever that people are talking about now, the diagnosis tool resides with us.
Last year when we had this outbreak, the monkeypox, samples were coming in, and last year alone we analyzed well over 100 samples, and then by January this year another 44 samples came in and we've analyzed that. So that tells you that we are well able and capable to do all of this analysis.
When Ebola struck in the US in 2014, within 48 hours, we had on our campus a delegation of the US CDC and a delegation of the US AID. And the question was, they wanted to come and find out what miracle we were doing. They were very, very, very clear about the mandate, that they were coming to learn from us how we've been doing it and how successfully we've been able to do it.
And the team have been working with the specialist hospital in Irua on Lassa fever, and have done a fantastic job developing rapid diagnosis tests for Lassa.
Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital was because that is one area where Lassa fever is endemic.
Within 4 months of the Ebola outbreak, we did something that has never been done in the history of science before. We were able to develop a 10-minute rapid diagnostic test for Ebola. That is the only test which is today approved by the US FDA and WHO. So the introduction of that test actually in the field, knowing within 10 minutes that somebody was infected or not, was a major turning point to contain the outbreak.
We have the ability to analyze whatever it is that comes into the lab. We have the capacity. Then we have well-prepared protocols that we follow to analyze samples. So I'm very confident that we can do that for Nigeria and for Africa also.
I've always had a passion for medicine. I've always had a passion to help the sick, to help children. And then when the World Bank brought this opportunity of empowering young students to become scientists, researchers, I felt this was an opportunity to help my people, to help my fellow Africans, basically. And so I think with my research work, applying molecular techniques, I could actually answer some questions and also help in tackling some issues with malaria, which has been some issues since 1904 or so.
One of the things that as scientists we're looking forward to achieving is the complete eradication of malaria. And one of the things that we have to do to actually achieve that is to understand the various clones circulating in a particular population. And that would influence the kind of vaccines one can develop. So my work is centered on understanding the diversity of Plasmodium falciparum across the country, across Nigeria, and fortunate to be here doing such research.
I'm currently involved in the next generation sequencing platform, where we kind of use that cutting-edge technology to sequence viral genomes. Like for instance, like during the monkeypox outbreak, Lassa fever virus and all of that.
The first capacity that we should be talking about in Africa is what? It's human resources, brain capacity. I think what we've done is actually to embolden the brains of young Africans to believe in themselves and then believe in their ability to deliver on African problems.
I've been fortunate enough to do my master's abroad, and coming back home doing PhD here, it is wonderful. It is equal to what you can get abroad. It is world class, if I may say that. It is world class.